In the name of God. Tiffany's first account.
Tiffany stood nervously inside the bank with her father, looking around. She knew she would soon owe the bank nothing, but she needed to open an account first. Ms. Rivera, the teller, smiled warmly as Tiffany stepped forward. "Would you like to deposit some money today?" she asked. Tiffany nodded, pulling a few bills from her bag and placing them on the desk. Her father had told her about lending and borrowing, but this was her first real experience. "This will be your first banking experience," Ms. Rivera said kindly. Ms. Rivera handed Tiffany a pen to sign the paper. "A broker helps people invest money, but today we'll focus on basic banking," she explained. Tiffany listened carefully, feeling like she was in a classroom. She looked at the clock on the wall, realizing how much time had passed. "What happens if my account is overdrawn?" Tiffany asked. Her father explained, "If you spend more than you have, the bank will charge you." Ms. Rivera nodded. "Yes, you should always check your balance before making a withdrawal." "What about a credit card?" Tiffany asked, curious. "Credit means you borrow money from the bank and pay it back later," Ms. Rivera explained. "The repayment process requires you to pay on time." Tiffany wrote this in her notebook, trying to remember everything. "Be careful with debt," her father warned. "If you don't pay on time, it can be a problem." Ms. Rivera added, "Unlike a debit card, a credit card does not use your own money immediately." Tiffany realized that banking had more details than she had imagined. Tiffany was given a temporary PIN to access her new account. "You must keep this private," Ms. Rivera advised. "A depositor is someone who keeps money in the bank, just like you now." Tiffany smiled, feeling proud. "If I need help, can I talk to an advisor?" she asked. "Yes, we have both public and private banking advisors," Ms. Rivera replied. Tiffany looked at the table full of brochures and picked one up. She wanted to read more about interest rates and how to grow her savings. "What is the minimum balance I need to keep?" Tiffany asked. "For students, it's very low," Ms. Rivera reassured her. Tiffany thought about saving more money and asked, "Can I withdraw money anytime?" Ms. Rivera nodded. "Yes, but some accounts have limits." Tiffany noticed a flyer about gyro services. "This helps with government payments," Ms. Rivera explained. Tiffany made a mental note to check it later. "It's important to transfer money safely," her father added. "What happens if someone goes bankrupt?" Tiffany asked, thinking of worst-case scenarios. "If a person cannot pay their debt, they may face bankruptcy," Ms. Rivera said. "Banks charge a fee for certain services, so always check your statement." Tiffany nodded, feeling like she was in a school lesson. She felt this was an important course for life. "If I ever need a loan, how does that work?" she asked. "Loans often require collateral, like property or valuable items," Ms. Rivera explained. "I want to focus on saving money first," Tiffany decided. "That's a smart idea," her father said. "Some people rely too much on borrowing, and that can lead to problems." Ms. Rivera showed her a chart with different account types. "Do I have to put in a lump sum to start?" Tiffany asked. "No, you can start small," Ms. Rivera assured her. "If I need cash, can I take out money easily?" Tiffany wondered. "Yes, especially with ATMs or direct debit," Ms. Rivera replied. "What does the central bank do?" Tiffany asked. "It controls the country's money and interest rates," Ms. Rivera explained. Tiffany found it fascinating. "If I use direct debit, how do I know my payments are safe?" she asked. "You'll get a statement each month," Ms. Rivera replied. Tiffany felt like she was in a school class as she took notes. "If I have arrears, I must manage them carefully," she said. "Exactly," her father agreed. "Let's talk about debit and negative equity," Ms. Rivera continued. "Debit is money leaving your account, while negative equity means loans exceed an asset's value." Tiffany made a quick note in her book. "An ATM is useful for withdrawals," her father added. Tiffany remembered to always check her account before spending. "This is a lot to learn," she admitted. "A banker can help explain things if needed," Ms. Rivera said. Banks make money through lending, Ms. Rivera said. A fixed interest rate doesn't change, while a variable one does. Tiffany wrote this down. Can I borrow money as a student? She asked. Yes, but the bank must underwrite your loan, Ms. Rivera explained. A withdrawal from an ATM is different from a loan, her father reminded her. Tiffany felt like she had a lot to study about finances. What is a banker's role? Tiffany asked. A banker helps people manage money, Ms. Rivera said. If I have an overdraft, what happens? Tiffany asked. It means you've spent more than your balance, Ms. Rivera explained. The bank might freeze your account if it happens too often. Tiffany looked at the board behind the counter with interest rates displayed. So I should always check my account first, she asked. That's good practice, her father replied. Tiffany looked at the paper with her account details. I feel responsible now, she said. She placed the paper in her bag and checked the clock again. Let's do a test, her father joked. How much should you save each month? Tiffany thought for a moment. As much as I can while keeping my balance above the minimum, she answered. Ms. Rivera laughed. Great answer. Tiffany saw a desk with banking brochures and picked one up. I want to read about different savings plans, she said. Maybe I can write a report for school. Her father smiled. That would be a great subject. Tiffany sat in a chair to go through the pamphlets. She circled important points with her pencil and used an eraser to correct mistakes. This is better than a school lesson, she admitted. Tiffany wanted to set a financial goal. Maybe I can start saving for college, she said. Her father nodded. That's a great example of smart planning. Tiffany picked up a dictionary from her backpack. I want to study more banking terms. Ms. Rivera smiled. You're already ahead of most people your age. Tiffany felt confident. I'll check my statement each month to stay on track. As they left, Tiffany felt accomplished. This was a great course on banking, she said. You'll learn more with experience, her father assured her. Tiffany checked her account one last time on her phone. I'll always cross-check my spending, she said. Good habit, Ms. Rivera agreed. I need to write about this in my journal, Tiffany added. She waved goodbye, feeling ready to manage her own money.
Like and subscribe if you would like.